welcome back. It's Christina again with the Artist Pod, and today I thought we'd actually just have a discussion about fan art, copyright, that sort of stuff. So let's get arting or talking. All right, so fan art. Is fan art legal? The short answer, no. The long answer is still no, but I'll explain it a little bit. Now this will be a short video. I'm just going to be talking about copyright, IP theft, fan art, all of that sort of stuff. So I've seen recently a lot of groups popping around where people think fan art's okay. And it's something that's kind of always there, but I feel like there's been a big surge, so I don't know if some new guru on YouTube said that fan art was protected, but it's not. It 100% is not, and is 100% copyright infringement. Fan art is not protected. There's no special protection for fan art. Any and all copyright infringement is basically fan art, right? There's no difference. And if you say, oh, this is Grogu and it's made by Disney, well, then you're basically admitting that you know that copyright's a thing and you're ignoring it and selling it anyway. Like, that's not going to protect you. Fair use doesn't protect you for fan art because you're selling it. You're making money on it. You're not using it for any educational purposes, and you're taking something that wasn't made by you, right? So if you're asking about fan art, you probably have an idea already about copyright, right? Copyright infringement is taking the idea of someone else and then selling a portion of that idea as your own, right? So whether that's a character, TV show, movie, music, books, NFL teams, artwork, any of those things, they don't belong to you. So you can't use any of them. You can't use a character from your TV show or movie, or a character from a book, or any of that sort of stuff. NFL logos. I know the Chiefs just won the Super Bowl. You can't sell that because you didn't create the idea originally. Now you are capable of creating your own idea, and that's really what you should be doing, right? Like, don't take someone else's character, make your own character. Don't take someone else's landscape, make your own landscape. Your own original landscape, not inspired. Well, you can be inspired, but not, you're not taking it directly from Star Wars, or you're not taking it directly from Star Trek, or whatever else it is, because that's copyright infringement. Sometimes we call it IP theft, right? IP theft is intellectual property, because it's stealing, right? What you're doing if you're making money on these things is stealing. And there's no real protection, no special protection for fan art. And I know some people will say that there are, but there is not. And I know the human nature is wanting to find the people that say the things that you want to hear. So I understand that some people may click off of it. But the people that are telling you that you can do fan art and make a profit on it are lying to you. Directly, straight up lying, and they're giving you bad information. And I've seen people get in a lot of trouble because they didn't realize what they were doing was illegal because they heard from this person on YouTube that it was fine. And I don't want that to happen to any of you. It's not fine. And they won't care that a YouTuber told you it was okay. When Disney comes after you for selling The Mandalorian, they're going to take everything you've ever had and every good thought that's ever crossed your mind. They will run you into the ground and destroy your life because you're stealing from them. So, and it doesn't matter. Sometimes where I see people get tripped up is they say, oh, well, I hand drew it myself. That doesn't matter. Mandalorian doesn't belong to you. You can't draw Grogu or Baby Yoda. You can't draw the Mandalorian. You can't draw these characters or these figures or these creatures and then sell it because you didn't come up with the original idea for the Mandalorian or Grogu or for these creatures. You didn't write the TV show. You weren't there when it happened. Then you can't do it. You can do it for your own work. Again, come up with your own creative story. Come up with your own space opera. Come up with your own, battle-hardened warrior. But don't take it from someone else because it's stealing. Where I see other people get tripped up sometimes is they'll say, oh, well, everyone else is selling it on Etsy, so I should be fine to load this drawing of Grogu on Etsy. Well, no. Just because everyone else is speeding doesn't mean that you should, right? It's still, we all know we all kind of do it, but we all know that it's not really okay. And you could get pulled over. Although I think a better correlation is that you see, let's say, walking in a mall at night and someone has broken the window at the Disney store and they're grabbing armfuls of plushies and walking out. There's a whole bunch of people going in and out. None of them are getting caught. And you think, oh, I can steal from the Disney store. I can loot this too because everyone else is doing it. So obviously it's okay. And then you walk in, take a handful of plushies, and you get in trouble and you get caught. They're not going to, it doesn't matter that you're like, well, all these other people were doing it. Yeah, but we caught you doing it. And at the end of the day, honestly, it's not a question of if they'll catch you, it's a question of when they'll catch you. There's a case going on right now I've seen make its way across, the world, maybe just the US, but okay, across the e-commerce world, where a guy, I think he's in Florida, was selling Mickey Mouse ears, and he was selling some face masks that had Lilo and Stitch on it and some other Disney IP, and received several takedown notices, because typically what they'll do is they'll send takedowns. They'll tell you can't do this. It's a violation of their rights. And he ignored them all, and he kept selling them, and now he's surprised that he's getting sued. And a lot of his followers, are supporting him, but it's like he thinks that he put his own branding on it, and so he was okay. And that's not how that works. I mean, you can't draw Grogu, throw your own branding on it, and say, oh, this was totally mine. It's not. The only reason you're making sales on it is because you stole someone else's idea, drew the character, and then put it up for sale. And I know that may sound harsh that I'm relating it to looting a store, but that's exactly what you're doing. It's digital looting. You're stealing someone else's. And if you're willing to steal from somebody, if you're willing to steal from Disney, what's to say you're not willing to steal from another artist, another small business? If you're willing to do it once, you're going to do it elsewhere. Oh, cool, this cool drawing over here. I'll just take it and add a feather in its hat. Now it's mine. No, that's not how that works. If I can look at it and be like, oh, clearly this is theirs, then it's not yours. It's not yours to use. So I hope that clarifies things. So the basic answer for fan art is no, you can't do it. Now there's a difference, right? If I make, a work of art, say of World of Warcraft, for my cousin as a gift, I'm not making any profit on it, I'm gifting it to my cousin, that's radically different than if I, draw baby Grogu and spam it all over Etsy and I'm making a profit on it. So realistically, you're not going to get caught for making something and giving it as a gift to a family member or a friend, but you very much can get caught and will eventually get caught if you do it and you're making a profit. I know that fan art is popular at conventions, but it's still illegal, and some companies don't care. I know anime conventions have typically embraced fan art, but even 10 years ago they got in trouble because a lot of the people in Artist Alley would have their entire table full of fan art, and they got dinged, and they don't let that happen anymore. You can have 50% or less of your table as fan art because it's illegal. And some companies will send, or at least I've heard, will send representatives walking around at anime conventions taking down names of people they see infringing so that they can then follow up after the convention and sue them for that work. Some companies won't care. They'll see it as good publicity and nothing will ever come of it. But some companies do. Disney is an example of that. So anything related to Disney, you're going to get sued. Now, you can do what's called licensing, right? You can reach out to a company and ask for a license. Those typically cost tens of thousands of dollars. The last time I looked it up for Disney was years and years ago, and you could pay them $10,000 for use of one character. So, if I wanted to do Mandalorian art, I could pay them $10,000 to draw Baby Yoda or Grogu, and just Grogu. I could spend another $10,000 if I wanted to also draw the Mandalorian in that, another $10,000 if I wanted to add any other characters. So it was by character, and like I said, it was $10,000 a character. It's probably more expensive now because, like I said, this was 3 or 4 years ago I looked this up. So licensing deals are possible, at which point you can sell art from those companies, but it's incredibly expensive. In theory, copyright happens, it sort of extends the moment you've created the work, right? So once you create the artwork, you are technically protected by copyright. Now, if you ever want to defend it in court, it's recommended that you register your copyright, but to be clear, you don't have to register copyright. Somebody who says that you're stealing their stuff doesn't have to have a registration number for copyright to tell you to take it down. They just, they'll have to go through a few more hoops if they want to try legal action against you. But it's still wrong. Like, morally, right? It's wrong to do that. So you wouldn't, hopefully, steal from anybody else. Take their work, take their artwork, and then sell it as your own. So I hope that's clear. So fan art, bad. Cool, do it on your own, but don't sell it. There's exceptions for parody. There's exceptions for parody. However, you have to get sued in order to prove that it's parody. So one, if you do something that's parody, you better make sure that you are 100% certain it's parody. Two, that 100% certain that it's parody and that you can articulate why it's parody clearly. Two, that you have enough money to afford the lawyers and the court costs that are going to go into the fact that Disney's suing you for using Grogu in a parody. And three, understand that the courts may still not rule in your favor. So not only have you now spent thousands of dollars saying that this is parody, but now you're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars paying back something that you probably didn't even make money on. Sometimes people will look at it and say, oh, look, all these people are making tons of sales. And it's a quick way to build a reputation, but it's also a quick way to lose everything. So don't do that. Come up with your own. Build your own audience. It takes years of work. It's years. So anybody who says this will be quick, it's not. It's not. It takes years to build a following, to build a store, to build any of this stuff online. It's possible, but it takes a long time. And doing it by stealing someone else's work as a quick way to do it is a quick way to get you in serious trouble. And again, it's stealing. So morally, you shouldn't do it anyway. So I hope that's clear. I hope that's touched on all the points of fan art and why you can't do it. But don't trust somebody who tells you can, because they're lying to you. All right. So I hope the discussion on fan art was helpful. In the floating nether next to me, I have other videos of art tutorials I have done, and I will see you all soon. Thank you so much. Take care.